I sit in my kitchen, holding a warm cup of coffee. The snow outside falls slowly, like tiny feathers. It's quiet, soft, and kind of magical. I take a sip, look at the window, and suddenly think, I need a Christmas tree. No plan, no reason, it just feels right. I smile because that's so me. No plan, just vibes. I tell myself, let's do it. We say do it when we mean just go for it. I look around. That means I turn my head and notice things. My apartment looks a little too calm, like it's waiting for something cozy and green. I finish my coffee and get dressed. That's the easy way to say, put on clothes. I pull on my soft cardigan, tie my hair in a messy bun, and whisper, today's the day. We say the day when something feels special or right. I grab my keys and gloves and head out. That means I leave home. The cold air hits me right away, like a slap, but in a good way. I laugh and pull my scarf tighter. The world smells like snow and morning. I step out onto the street. That means moving from inside to outside. My boots crunch on the snow. I look up. The sky is pale and still. I think about the tree I want. Big, small, perfect. I always go for real ones. That means I choose them, because they smell like winter and home. The wind blows through my hair, cold and fresh. I slow down a bit. That means I walk more slowly, just to enjoy the quiet. My breath turns white in the air. Then I see them. People carrying trees, smiling, talking. The air smells like pine and smoke. I head toward the crowd. That means I walk in their direction. My heart beats faster. I laugh quietly and say to myself, okay, Ellie, let's find the perfect one. I look around. That means I turn my head to see what's going on. Everyone looks half frozen but cheerful. A little boy waves a branch like a sword, and his mom laughs. I smile at them. That means I react with a small, kind smile. I move forward slowly. That means I take a few steps when the line moves. My boots crunch on the snow. I rub my hands together. That's what we do to warm them up. The wind is sharp, but it feels clean and fresh. Music plays from a small speaker, soft bells, a bit broken, but still sweet. I wait for my turn. That means I stay in line until it's mine. A man behind me calls out to his friend. We say that when someone shouts from far away. I hear laughter and see clouds of breath rising in the air. I shift from foot to foot. That means I move just a little to keep warm. I pull out my phone. That means I take it from my pocket and check the time. 10 minutes, maybe more. It feels longer. A woman ahead hands over her money to the seller. That's how we say give something to someone. She looks happy, cheeks red, tree huge. I look up. Snowflakes fall slowly, soft as dust. I breathe in the cold air. It smells like pine, smoke, and winter. My fingers are numb, my nose pink, but I can't stop smiling. This, the cold, the people, the trees, this is Christmas. When it's finally my turn, I step closer to the rows of trees, and they're all enormous. I look around, that means I move my eyes to see everything, and honestly, every single one looks like it belongs in a city park, not my apartment. I laugh at the sight. That means I find it funny, not serious. The seller waves at me with his gloved hand. He's tall, red-cheeked, and loud, the kind of person who could sell snow in a snowstorm. He tells me these are the best trees in town. I nod along. That means I pretend to agree, but secretly, I'm thinking way too big. I walk around the rows. That means I move in a circle to see better. I touch one of the trees, and it's thick and heavy, full of snow. It's beautiful, but I'd have to cut a hole in my ceiling for it to fit. I step back, shaking my head. Nope. He picks up another tree. That means he lifts it and asks if I want something strong and majestic. I roll my eyes when something sounds silly and say I just need something small and friendly. He laughs so hard, I almost start laughing too. I look past the big ones. That means I move my eyes beyond them, hoping there's something smaller hiding in the back. Snowflakes keep landing on my hair, the cold bites my fingers, but I keep going. I bend down a little to peek between two tall trees. That means I lower my body and see something small in the corner. It's a funny-looking tree, a bit crooked, leaning to one side like it's shy. I smile at it, thinking, maybe you're the one. But before I decide, the seller calls out another joke, something about a princess needing a royal tree. I laugh and turn toward him, ready to answer. The seller grins at me, his cheeks red from the cold. He says I need a tree fit for a princess. I laugh at that. It means I find it funny, not serious. He's clearly joking, but I play along. I nod along. That means I agree, just to keep the mood light. I walk between the trees. That means I move through the rows, and the snow crunches under my boots. Each one looks too big, too proud. I run my hand over the branches. That means I touch them gently, and tiny needles fall like green snowflakes. He points at a tall tree and says it would look perfect in a castle. I roll my eyes. That means I look up when something sounds silly. Sure, if my apartment had a ballroom. I keep looking. That means I continue to search and smile to myself. I bend down beside a smaller one. That means I lower my body and check the needles. They're soft, fresh, alive. I wrap my arms around it just to test the size. That means I hug it lightly. It fits perfectly. The top leans a little to the side, like it's shy. The seller walks over. That means he comes closer and watches me. That one? He asks, grinning. I look up at him and laugh. Yeah, I say, that's the one. He shrugs. That means he lifts his shoulders and says, good choice, princess. I hand over the money. That means I give it to him, and he wraps up the tree in netting. We say that when something gets covered or packed. I thank him for the help. That means I say thank you, and he smiles, still joking. As I lift up the tree, that means I raise it from the ground. It feels heavier than I expected, but it's mine now. Not the biggest, not the prettiest, just a little crooked, a little charming. And that's exactly why I love it. I start walking home with the tree, and honestly, it feels like a workout. I hold on to the trunk. That means I keep it tight in my hands, but it keeps slipping. The net scratches my gloves, and every few steps, a branch hits my face. I laugh out loud. People stare, but I don't care. I walk through the street. That means I move from one end to the other. Cars pass slowly, drivers smiling at the sight of me and my tree. One guy honks and waves. I wave back. That means I lift my hand to say hi. I must look ridiculous, but kind of proud, too. The wind blows against me. That means it pushes from the front, and the tree feels heavier every minute. I stop for a break. That means I pause to rest and lean it against a wall. My hair is full of snow. I breathe out and start laughing again. Like, what am I even doing? I pick up the tree again. That means I lift it from the ground and keep going. My arms hurt, but I feel so alive. Everyone I pass smiles. A woman with shopping bags calls out, "You got the best one." I smile at her and nod. Yeah, I think I did. I turn onto my street. That means I change direction and almost trip over the tree stand poking from the bottom. Classic me. The tree slides along the sidewalk, leaving a little trail in the snow. I hold on tighter, trying not to drop it. Finally, I reach my building. My cheeks are red, my gloves wet, my hair a mess. I push open the door. That means I use my hand to move it and laugh as the tree barely fits through. I pull it inside, step by step, like dragging a sleepy pet. When the door finally closes behind me, I drop the tree on the floor and sigh with victory. We say drop when something falls from our hands. My arms are shaking, but my heart feels warm. I did it. I brought Christmas home. Inside, the warmth feels unreal. My cheeks burn, my hands tingle. I take off my coat. That means I remove it and drop it on the chair. Snow melts from my hair. The tree leans in the corner, still wrapped in netting, looking like a tired traveler. I laugh. I cut off the net. That means I remove it with scissors, and the branches open fast, like the tree is finally breathing. Needles fall on the floor, but I don't care. The smell of pine fills the room. It's fresh and sharp, and suddenly, everything feels like Christmas. I turn on some music. That means I make it play. Soft carols from my playlist. I pull out a box from under the couch, full of old decorations. That phrase means I take something from a place where it's hidden. Half the lights are tangled. Of course. I laugh at the mess. That means I find it funny, not annoying. I untangle the lights slowly. That's when you separate something twisted together. They blink weakly, but it's enough. I wrap around the branches. That means I move them in circles, and the tree starts to glow. Next, I hang up the ornaments. That means I put them higher using hooks. Glass balls, tiny stars, a few old paper ones from my childhood. The red ones shine brightest against the green. I step back to look. That means I move away to see the whole picture. The tree isn't perfect. It leans a bit, one side heavier than the other, but it's mine. I light up the last strand. That means I make it shine, and the whole room turns golden. I sit down on the floor with a cup of cocoa, just watching the lights flicker. The snow outside keeps falling. I breathe in, smile, and think, yeah, this was worth every frozen finger. I turn off the big light, and suddenly the room feels softer. Only the tree is glowing now. Tiny golden dots dancing on the walls. I sit down on the floor again. That means I lower myself slowly, with my cocoa still warm in my hands. Everything around me is quiet, just the hum of the city outside. I look at the tree. That means I keep my eyes on it and can't help smiling. It's small, a little crooked, but perfect in its own way. I think back to the cold morning, the crowd, the snow, the heavy walk home. That phrase means I remember something from before. Now it all feels calm, like the world has stopped moving. I breathe in deeply. That means I take air slowly and smell pine and chocolate. The air feels heavy and sweet. I wrap up in a blanket. That means I cover myself and lean my head on the wall. The lights flicker softly, like they're breathing too. I listen to the silence. That means I pay attention to it, and it's beautiful. No rush, no noise, just peace. I look around the room. Everything seems warmer, kinder. Even the mess on the floor looks like part of the magic. I close my eyes for a moment. That means I rest them and feel thankful. The cold, the crowd, the laughter, the weight of the tree, all of it led to this quiet. I open my eyes again, and the lights are still glowing, calm and steady. I smiled to myself. That means I do it quietly for no one else, and whisper, "Merry Christmas, little tree." The room doesn't answer, but it doesn't have to. It just glows, softly, like it understands.